Well, hello there, and welcome to another edition of Johnny Davis Live. We're here on this May 22nd, 2020. Have a really interesting show for you today, and I hope that you will chime in and be a part of what we're trying to do in this great movement to try to get these gyms open as quickly as possible. A lot of people have a lot at stake here. And again, we're going to get a little bit more into why we feel like this is important. We also want to thank our sponsors, Blackout Fights at blackoutfights.com for all they do for us, and Eastern Offset Printing for what they do for us as well, all of our printing and things like that. You can check them out in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. Guys, as you know, this past week, the governor, Roy Cooper, here in North Carolina announced that there will be a phase two starting, and some of the type of facilities and businesses that will be able to open. Though some of those that were not or are not able to open are gyms. We're talking about like fitness type gyms that might have a lot of equipment in it, but we're also talking about Muay Thai, kickboxing, martial arts type gyms. That most of them have pretty a lot of space on the floor. They can really practice the social distancing and all of that. And, for the most part, people have their own equipment. These guys have been working their butts off and sanitizing their gyms, and they've been following these guidelines and things like that. So we're going to be talking to a couple of people today, just as we were speaking to the governor himself. We're going to, tell the stories and why this is important. And why gyms are essential. One of the big things to me, to be very honest with you, is that if you allow salons, there's nothing against salons, but I always like the idea of what my mom always used to say: what's good for the goose is good for the gander. This is not so much about whether it's completely safe and all of that. We're going to talk about some of those things as well and all. But if you have somehow, you and the others have decided, and we respect you, for what you're trying to do and keeping people safe. Let me just say that. But if you're allowing a salon to open 50% and do business, I don't see why they are more essential than a gym. And let me tell you why I say that. This is really important, and I'll get to my guess. Okay, so one of the underlying medical conditions, a lot of them are, like diabetes and, high blood pressure and different things like that. Well, fitness centers actually help prevent those things. you know, Getting your nails done or your hair done has nothing to do with your health and fitness. Has a lot more to do with your look. So to say that a gym is not essential, that's a little off. Listen, let me be very clear. This is not about politics. I see a lot of people spewing hate and all that and talking about, the this and the different parties and all of that. It's not about that. Because the people who are being affected, they cross every spectrum. Democrat, Republican, liberal, doesn't matter. We're talking about gym owners. So no need of throwing in the politics of this thing. And because like somebody's intentionally trying to do this, that's not the case. They're trying to make decisions, I believe, for millions of people. And sometimes it's difficult, and we have to respect that. But at the same time, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If they're allowing the salons, then I feel that they should also allow us. The gentleman in the screen right there, someone we're getting ready to talk to. We're going to speak with him first. He's with Mr. J.T. Smith. So we're going to see if we can bring up Mr. J.T. Smith and his client there. See, can we find him there and everything and get him right up there? JT's kind of hiding from me right now. I have a lot of guests on today, guys, so we're going to have a good time and talking with everybody and getting their views. So we're going to go ahead and bring up now Mr. J.T. Smith. He's from Lake Norman, Muay Thai there, and he has this special gentleman there. How you guys are doing today, J.T.?
Good, Johnny. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. First of all, tell us a little bit about you, but be sure to introduce your guest there today too.
Okay. For those of you who don't know, I'm J.T. Smith, owner, operator, crew here at Lake Norman Muay Thai here in Mooresville. And this is my good friend and Parkinson's boxer, Reggie Oswald.
Right. Yes.
For
Yes.
those who don't know, not only do we do Muay Thai here at my facility, but we also have a class that is specializing in helping people who are fighting Parkinson's disease.
Right. And that's a really special program that you have there. Tell us a little bit about the gentleman who's sitting there beside you, and he's a participant in your class.
Well, I can let him introduce himself
Well, even better than that, sir. How are you, sir?
Morning, sir. Good to see you, sir.
Good, good. I would love to hear a little bit about your story and how you got involved with the Lake Norman Muay Thai and the Rock Steady program.
Well, I'm Reginald Ostwald. I live in Troutman, North Carolina. And I have been going to the YMCA in Statesville for a while and waiting on a Rock Steady boxing to open up in the area where I could come to it.
Mm-hmm.
And JT opened, and I came down within, I think, a couple of weeks after he opened, or a week or so after he opened, anyhow. And it has made a big difference in my health and well-being. As far as when I came in, I was a walker. When I come back later on, I came back with a walking cane. Now I'm back on a walker with this shutdown.
Wow. So you're saying in that shorter period of time from you were off your walker while you were working out, but then when we went on the shutdown, you had to get back on your walker?
Yes, sir.
Wow, that is pretty amazing. So the program is really benefiting you and is benefiting you. What would you say the specific benefits of this program is or are?
Well, it keeps you moving. It keeps you alert. It keeps your mind working. It keeps you it just helps all the way around. And everything is involved in Parkinson's.
Right.
And that is one thing that a Parkinson's person needs. I've seen 5 of our number of friends of mine that passed away during this time. I've been involved in the exercise from the YMCA to down here to JT's gym.
Right, right. If you don't mind me asking, sir, how young are you?
How young am I?
Yes, sir.
I just turned 84.
Wow, that is awesome. That is awesome. Do you feel like the gym should be open and they're more essential maybe than a nail salon?
Absolutely.
Right, right.
No nails, I can work.
Right, right. Well, JT, I want to ask you, since we talk about underlying medical conditions and things like that, give us an idea of what you would do if the gyms were to open up a little bit sooner, and how you would keep some of our seniors that are working out in your program more safe than perhaps others.
Well, that's one of the good things about the way that I do my program here is they operate in what we would call a circuit training type
Mm.
program. So
Hmm.
they do 10 rounds, and during
Wow.
10 rounds, they are at least 6 feet apart, and
Right.
they are by themselves, unless, of course, they're working with somebody holding focus mitts. That's
Yeah.
the only time they're around somebody else. So, we may have a guy working on the speed bag. We may have somebody doing squat jumps,
Hmm.
be doing push ups, maybe some kind of ab work, maybe working the heavy bag. But every exercise that they're doing it alone. Okay.
Right.
With the exception of focus mitts. But, we,
Yeah.
we can take whatever measures are necessary there to protect both parties.
So, JT, what would be your message if you were speaking directly to the governor right now? What would be your respectful message to the governor?
I'm going to be respectful, definitely. Um, the, I would just be honest with him, particularly when it comes to this situation with my Parkinson's clients. Uh, there is a slight possibility that if they go out, that they could contract COVID-19.
Yeah.
That possibility exists.
Yes.
Okay, I would say like a 2% chance that it could happen.
Yeah.
All right. But in the case of these folks, if they're not getting their exercise, there is a 100% chance that their Parkinson's is going to get worse. And,
Right.
and everybody's different. Nobody's the same. Some people may de-escalate quickly. Others may be slower, but
Right.
they're all going to start to deteriorate without the exercise.
Right. So you're ready to go tomorrow. If you were a part of this phase 2, right now you would be ready to open tomorrow.
I would be ready to open my doors tomorrow. Absolutely.
So one final question though. Also with the procedures that they're putting out there, are you prepared for additional sanitation processes? And what have you done, and what will you do to help keep people safe?
Well, my gym's always been clean. That's been.
Yes.
I don't know about you. I don't like going into a dirty
Right.
place. So I've always tried to keep my gym as clean as possible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've talked about this before, especially when it comes to your mats.
Mm-hmm.
All it takes is one case of ringworm or
Yeah. Right.
or of something else, and then that gets out in the community, and then you're done.
Yes. Right.
Nobody can come to you because your place is nasty.
So there is a little bit of liability in any case, but in particular now, and you're willing to take that chance because you basically have high standards anyway in keeping your club clean. Let me get a final thought there from Mr. Reggie, right?
Right.
Yeah, Mr. Reggie, what would you say to the governor right now?
I'd say if he had some of his family or friends that had Parkinson's, I believe he would see it a little different than the way
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a powerful statement. Well, sir, I thank you so much for taking time to come on the show today. I really appreciate it. My family and I have been in the senior care business for many, many, many years, so we know quite a bit about this and all. And so we're very honored to have you on the show today. And JT, always great talking to you too. Okay, buddy?
Thanks, sir. Good to
All
see
right,
you.
good luck with everything, man. All right, Spider Cup. Thank you, sir. We'll see ya.
Goodbye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're speaking there with Mr. I'm going to call him Mr. Reggie and Mr. JT Smith out of Lake Norman, Muay Thai. What we're going to do next, we're going to speak to a gentleman who's out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. He has a gym there in Winston-Salem. It's called 8 Point Muay Thai, one and only. There he is, Mr. Chris Clodfelter. How are you doing, Chris?
Hey, how you doing, Johnny?
Good, good. Now, Mr. Chris, as I said, he owns a gym over in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Give us an idea, Chris, of what this shutdown has meant to you and how it's affected you and your gym.
Well, in the very beginning, it was, when everything was going on and we were, people were worried, we definitely wanted to do what was best for our members and best for the people because, the truth of the matter is none of us are infectious disease, doctors. So we didn't know what this was, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So it was, it was definitely something scary. So in the beginning, I thought that it was, even though I waited till the last possible time, I still thought it was needed at the time for us to shut down and just kind of see what's happening, to flatten the curve.
Right.
And then that turned into, something different. And so my views kind of changed on it. But I think in the very beginning, it was something necessary that we needed to get a handle on this. We needed to slow down. And then, so even though it was hard, I think it was something necessary in the beginning. But what we did was we translated to all online programming. So we have the, capacity to do online classes, to do online approach. We kind of turned it into another business venture to where we're starting a website. It opens up in June to where you can sign up for online memberships all across the world. And we currently have people from Ireland, from Canada, from Kazakhstan. We have people from all over the world that tune in to our 8 Points online Facebook pages. And so we're carrying that over to the website when it opens up.
So basically you found new business opportunities. That's one of maybe the bright lights in this. You found some new business opportunities.
I did, because it forces you, anytime you have to do something like this, it forces you to change. And I've always tried to look at I'm going to if people's met me, I guess they can see I'm kind of a positive person. I
Yeah.
like to focus on the positive, and that was kind of my way of dealing with this very scary, very real thing in the beginning. I wanted to give my kids, because I have 3 kids, I wanted to give my kids a positive outlet.
Right.
You make this quarantine kind of a fun thing for them.
Right.
In the very beginning. So in the very beginning, I try to look at it like that. But now I feel like that it's just I know I'm not talking about politics, but I just think that it's turned a little bit more. I'm not necessarily saying political, but it's just turned to a different thing now than the goals.
Well, I think it might be more about that. When you know better, you do better, right? At first, when it came out, everybody was scared. No one knew exactly how you contracted or anything, right? And we didn't even have proper PPE. Couldn't find masks. Couldn't find sanitizers. Now here we are, months later. Now we kind of have a better understanding of how this thing spreads, right? And all. And so again, we're slowly opening up. My main thing today is the comparison.
Yeah.
The comparison, and if you have decided that you will allow salons to open, right? And you're saying you're having, kind of basing it on levels of essential, then gyms are more essential than a salon. That's my big argument. What do you say about that?
I totally agree. To be honest, I think every business is essential, and I think that
it has some level of it, yes.
And I think some businesses, should, in opening back up, they shouldn't have gone necessarily essential or non-essential. They should have gone by the risk of exposure and the risk of harm.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at that, salons, and my mom is in salons, so I'm glad they're open.
You're gonna get a beating when you get home, boy.
Yeah, I know. But salons and places like dentist office were allowed to open before salons, and you got some person in your mouth, and you have salons, you have somebody, and I don't care how protected you are, you're right in their face. Gyms are completely different, especially martial arts gyms.
Right.
There are tons of ways, even in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, there are tons of solo drills, tons of bag drills, tons of technique drills that you can do to still create that family community without being right up in each other's face.
Right.
So I think with the level of exposure, I think you just had a lot of people in the government that they didn't know they didn't know anything about martial arts gyms. And so they didn't want to get sued like Texas, like the hairdresser in Texas. So what they did was they moved salons from phase 3 to phase 2,
right.
and they booted out gyms. And now the CDC is coming out saying, hey, it doesn't spread easily on equipment. So
right.
now there's really no case for gyms to be closed anymore.
I was going to bring that point up as well. Yeah. You're right. They just came out that with the fact that it doesn't spread as much on equipment and secondhand, if you will.
And
more is on the droplets and things like that, and which we'll be talking about a little bit more about that in our next show at 2:00 with Dr. Lucas and all. But you're absolutely right, and that's a very, very big point. If you were right now speaking to the governor, Governor Roy Cooper, respectfully, what would you say to him and ask him?
Well, I would just tell him. I would just let him know that I don't agree with his stance, and I appreciate him trying to take measures because anytime you're in leadership, it's a hard job. Okay, it's a hard job.
Yes,
I know that being in a gym, I can't do everything what everybody wants. But I would just definitely let him know that, hey, there's a lot of gyms out there that might not want to just go ahead and open up. They might want to try to wait or whatever. But I just think that you need to look at everything. You need to look at how dangerous that particular job is. And with the new evidence coming out with the CDC, how everything's always changing, gyms can take proper precautions and be able to open up. There's no way that you can't open up.
Well, Chris, I know like when we've done Muay Thai kickboxing tournaments at your club, before I can even walk out the door, and trust me, I'm trying to get out of there. You have your crew with some type of chemical, I don't know what it is, and they're mopping and wiping down everything. I mean, you guys do that anyway. It's like I want people to understand that we're not dealing with some crappy clubs with a bunch of, these are instructors who are business people who take pride in their business every single day. Right? It's not because of this that they're cleaning. They clean anyway, right? And it's well sanitized.
And this is this is not something we do as a side job. I mean, this is our passion. This is our
Yeah.
life. And someone like me, I've made, certain decisions and that kind of thing, like during this quarantine that, we're closed down for the first couple of weeks of it. And then, I made some decisions towards the end of April, that, hey, I'm not living in communist China. I mean, I'm here in the United States. So I think people need to choose what's right for them.
Right.
And I think people need to choose the right steps, whatever that is. I'm not advocating for everybody to go out here and, whatever, burn down buildings or anything like that. But I just think you need to choose what's right for you, whether that's opening back up, whether that's sending letters, whether that's doing things in the right way. But at the end of the day, you have to do what's right by your members,
Right.
what's right by you. You have to make sure that you're sanitizing everything. We're taking those extra steps. We've got a professional cleaning crew that comes in once a week now. We're sanitizing everything. We're making sure that those classes that we're holding for everybody is, sanitized. We're doing more, class options. I mean, we're just trying to pull out all the stops to give our members that top quality safety. And we're also doing online classes. So what we're trying to do is just to create a positive atmosphere that goes above and beyond the CDC guidelines, but still allows them to learn Muay Thai.
Well, I think you're doing a great job over there, and I just want to thank you for taking a little time to come on the show today. We've got a whole lineup of people to talk to and everything, but you're over in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and you would like to have your gym open and ready to go, and would like this shutdown lifted on gyms. And I think you made a very, very good point there, especially about what the CDC just came out with and all. And hopefully, like I said, we're gonna try to send this out and this show out and send it to the governor, and hopefully he'll take a look at it. And your part in this could be very vital, Chris. And I certainly appreciate you coming on the show today. Okay, man.
I appreciate that, Johnny. Thank you for having us.
Talk to you soon. Okay, bye bye.
Yes,
all right. All right, guys. So we're going to take a little bit different spin on this. Well, we're going to bring up a young lady who has been working in the fight community for quite a minute there, getting more and more involved as things go on. And she has a little campaign going on there. Ladies and gentlemen, there she is, Miss Donna Marie Natozzi. How are you?
Hi, great. How are you, Johnny?
All right, good. Nice to have you on today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, these we have a lot going on right now, obviously, with the shutdown of gyms, and you've kind of become an advocate for the gyms. So I wanted to kind of get your take on what's going on right now with some of these gym owners and perhaps how they're struggling.
I know it's been tough to sort of reinvent the business model where everybody's in close contact and to shutting down, and doing a lot of what Chris Clodfelter is doing is reinventing your digital platforms, your social platforms, to hopefully keep your business and let it continue to grow. And I've seen people doing some amazing creative stuff with this.
Yes.
And so my role has been just to support. I've been in the gym community and the fight community for about 5 years. And the things that are the gyms and the gym owners and the community have done for me personally is huge. And it has very little to do with physical fitness. That's a component, right? Glad to be in good shape. I'm in better shape now than I was when I was in the military.
Right. Wow. Thank you for your service. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And so it's really been great for my personal growth and my confidence level, and just meeting people I would not have otherwise met from different walks of life. And they've helped me move from like an apartment to a house. We've held fundraisers for each other, and cooked dinner for each other when they're injured, and we really rally around each other. So it seemed like the right thing to do, to rally around the gym owners who have provided an opportunity for us to support each other. So it seems really important right now.
Right. Well, do you have a little campaign or something going on right now? Something about the YN gym or something to that effect? Tell us a little bit about that program.
Yes. So I'm not a gym owner. I'm just I'm a supporter and I'm an athlete. So I wanted to do something with my digital and social media background to help start a movement to get everybody rallying behind and showing the general public who may not really know what we do or have a perception of what we do, why it's so important that we get our kids and we get our students back in the gym with their community, training together safely. And I also think there's another element of, I don't think folks understand how stringently clean we are normally. Like pre-pandemic, we keep it clean to the nines because we have to worry about MRSA and ringworm and things like that. And it spreads so crazily that, you know, we have to take those precautions every day. And so I think just raising that awareness, and social media is the perfect platform, considering a lot of folks are still staying at home and sheltering at home, which is okay. They're on social media all the time. So why not put that stuff in front of people on the platform they're already on? So we're using the hashtag, the letter Y in gym. There's a Facebook page created for it as well. And we're just encouraging folks to make a short video letting us know why it's important to them that the gym's open.
Right. Well, you know, when you mentioned about the social media, what do you think about some of the people who are literally attacking the government, attacking the governor, and instead of, I mean, I've seen people with their fingers stuck up there. I've seen people cursing, literally cursing out the governor, and I mean, and that some of them might be coming from this community, right? And I mean, do you think that is helpful?
No, not at all. And I've had several conversations about this, which is why I've tried to organize gym owners up under one umbrella to have a united and positive front, because you have to step out of your own little circle and understand the general population thinks we are knuckle dragging Neanderthals, right? We're punch and kick each other and choke each other. Like, that's not what we're about. We're about so much more than that. And we're basically taking 10 steps back every time somebody puts something out like that, because you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. I mean,
could you say that one more time, please?
You catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar.
There you go.
But it's the truth.
So true. And this is what I've been trying to say. When I go on to people's posts and people's like, sue the bee and da 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 and da da da, I'm like, what are you doing? Do you know you're hurting more than helping right now? Mr. Cooper and those people out there, they are trying. Listen, they're trying to make decisions for millions of people. Sometimes it just takes maybe just an outcry, maybe just to let them know who we are and what we do, and the difference in a Muay Thai and kickboxing gym than a normal like gym that might have a lot of bikes and things like that. Which, you know, again, I think they could open too. That's just fine. But I'm talking about mostly us right now. The other thing is I want to ask you, as from a woman's perspective, right? That salons, they're being allowed to open. And listen, nothing against salons, right? But do you find them more essential than a gym, especially when you talk about the underlying medical conditions and the things that causes a lot of the problems with the COVID-19? And I've never heard anybody say, well, if you keep your nails looking good, child, right, that COVID won't touch you. Right? What about fairness here? What about fairness and equality?
So my personal opinion, not the reflection of any gym I attend, my employer, etc. Every business is essential. There is somebody that's using that business to put food on the table, to provide. And to further that point, we can do so safely. We can do so with guidelines. And we can allow the economy to get back on its feet and do so safely, and protecting what I think is most important, which is the mental health of people, their ability to provide. Obviously, there's a direct connection. The concern for suicide rates is there because what do you do when you're out of money? You know, at desperate times call for desperate measures. So while I understand the position that the government is in, making decisions for the whole, they have to be general, and they may not always get it right, because truth be told, we don't really know what's going on. And when we do know, it changes. So I think we all need to be calm, be patient, understand that business needs to go on, and not be afraid to take those steps, and just be an advocate for doing the right thing.
While I have you on here, it's an interesting comment that came on, and Elizabeth Sparks came on and said, the gym being closed for 3 months has had a direct effect on my anxiety and depression. So many people use this place for their mental health as much as their physical. I think you kind of alluded to that already.
Yeah, it's very real. my personal perspective, the impact it's had on me, I need those people. My coaches, my training partners are unique and very inspiring individuals that keep me level-headed. I mean, in and out of the gym, but just, yes, it's a stress release. Yes, it's a great workout, but it's more than that. That's my family. That's my community.
Yes.
And those are the people that I need to be around. I live alone, so I don't have that social interaction.
But you're also a fighter. I mean, so it's not like I live alone. It's like, yeah, come on.
I will not play the helpless female card. That's
No, you are not playing that at all. I've seen you when you were, like you said, in that fight shape and everything. It's kind of pretty awesome. I also just want to, the things that you are doing with that. Tell them about. Put that up a little bit earlier about that link for that hashtag. Tell them a little bit more about the hashtag that you would like for them to go to that page and like that page. Tell them that once more, because we have because we have some other people we want to talk to. You're doing great. I got to have you back on. I think you got a lot to talk about.
I've never had a shortage of things to say. So like the Facebook page, which is the Y in Gym. Also, create a video, just can be short, and post it to your personal social media pages with the hashtag the Y in Gym, and then also post it to the Facebook page and help spread the word, help create a positive outlook for us and show people why we really need these gyms open.
I just have a feeling, right? I just have a feeling when we do things like this and other people are doing some media as well, that there might be a chance, right? Even if we're not opening today, maybe by next Friday, they could go in and take another look. This is why I think shows like this is important. By next Friday, they could take a look at this thing, and I just feel that they might do that. Right? Keep hope alive. Right? Keep hope alive.
Numbers. You have a voice. Use it. Right? Use your powers for good and not evil.
Yes.
Me too. I can't stay silent. Right. I need to speak up and help the people who've helped me so much.
Donna Natosi, thank you so much for coming on today. You've done a great job, and we look forward to talking to you again soon, okay?
Thank you.
All right, Swati Cup. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it there. That's Miss Donna Natosi there. She's all about it in the Muay Thai and kickboxing community. And